Hello, my name is John Savournin. I'm an opera singer, a director, and the artistic director of Charles Court Opera. As you know, ETO's current and future seasons have been affected by the COVID-19 outbreak, but English Touring Opera have been very supportive to all of their artists. This is singing lesson number 12, which forms part of a series ETO are releasing this spring for adults. And they also have a series of singing lessons for children, which you can find on their website or via their social media channels if you'd like to have a look. Today, I would like to talk to you about maintenance, both body maintenance and vocal maintenance, looking after the vocal mechanism itself. Dame Janet Baker once gave a very useful analogy for singing, which involves keeping your glass clean. And that involves taking away all of the obstacles and bad habits that we develop, sometimes completely subconsciously, while we're singing under pressure, that get in the way of us having a really clean glass through which we can shine the words and the music that we're being asked to serve as performers. And so I hope that some of these exercises will prove useful to you in massaging your body and helping your voice to be free and as honest as it can be whilst you are performing. The first exercise that I would like to share with you involves lying on the floor. So if you can find a space in which you can lie the full length of your body, including stretching your hands and arms above your head, then that'll be great. Grab a yoga mat if you have one. Otherwise, just lie on any floor space that you have available, and I'll see you there in just a second. So this is a really simple exercise that is inspired by Pilates, and it involves really helping the back, especially the lower back, get plenty of length, and hopefully you will stand up and feel just a couple of inches taller. So first, you want to get on your back on the floor, put your feet on the ground, but your knees up. And this is a fantastic resting position for the back. And just stay here for a few minutes. Allow all of your muscles and any tension that you can feel, any holding that you're doing, to just melt away. It's important to not try to do anything, not try to force your shoulders into the floor or force your back into the floor. Just let it all feel heavy and almost like your whole body becomes liquid. And just stay there for a few minutes longer. Enjoy all of the releases that you're feeling. From there, if you just take your right leg and put your foot across your left thigh, and take your hands and take hold of your leg like this, and you will feel a really lovely stretch in your upper right leg as you do this. All of these muscles are all connected up into your back. So it's taking some steps towards creating a sense of freedom in your whole body. And you can just pull your hands towards your chest and lean into that stretch. And breathe into your leg, into your hip, into your glutes. And let everything go. And then gently put that foot down on the ground, and we're going to go to the other side. Just lean into that stretch. Breathe through it. And then just bring your leg a little closer to your chest. That needs a stretch today. and breathe into it and feel the release. Taking really nice low breaths. Then gently take that leg down, put both feet back on the floor. Hopefully you might feel a little difference in your lower back already. And just wait here for a moment longer. Letting any new tensions just melt away again. You can give your head a little roll while you're here. And also give your pelvis just a gentle roll back and forward as if you are tipping a bucket. Some of you will remember Ed Hawkins talking about tipping the bucket in his singing lesson. This is the same idea. Now, from there, I'd like you to take your hands and put them either side of your body. And if you tense your glutes and your upper thighs and your lower abdominals to a certain extent, really important to do this when you try this exercise. I'd like you to use those muscles to gently lift your pelvis up off the floor entirely, really keeping an eye that you're leading from your lower body in doing this and not from your back, until you're at a nice straight angle. Whilst you've got yourself in that position, take your arms and take them above your head and lay them out above you. And then very slowly stack your spine back on the floor as if you're laying a snake down, very slowly, very gently, so that the last thing that you put down are your hips. Just give them a gentle wiggle while you're there. Hopefully already you're feeling your back is being extended. Then bring your hands back to your sides, and we're going to repeat the process. So tensing your glutes and your legs to keep all the pressure off your lower back. We're then lifting up until you're at a nice straight angle. Take your arms all the way above your head and lay them out flat. And again, just gently drop your back down piece by piece. And last but not least, your lower back and your hips. Give them a little wiggle. And then bring your arms back down by your side. You might now just want to reposition your head to make sure that it's got a little bit of extra length. And we'll go one more time. Tensing the glutes and the legs, leading from them and bringing your pelvis up. Arms all the way stretched above your head, as far as is comfortable, but without going too far. And then lowering your back piece by piece until the last thing you put down is your pelvis. And then just bringing your hands softly back to somewhere on your chest and breathing. Now you can stay there for as long as you like, and whilst you were doing that exercise, I hope that you could feel that your lower back was being gently extended in length each time, and also your head felt like it was maintaining some distance from your shoulders. It's a really lovely exercise to just reacquaint yourself with the length of your body before you then gently stand up and feel lighter and taller going into practice, feeling as if you have found the optimum posture. Now that we have established the length of our back and come to standing to enjoy feeling just that little bit taller, I'd like you to turn your attention to your neck. The muscles in your neck often can become very fatigued during singing because they get involved in ways that they sometimes should and sometimes shouldn't. And I find it incredibly useful to perform this simple stretching exercise before I start singing or before I go on stage, just to make sure that the neck is really, really free and light, and that there's plenty of length in the back of the neck, which is really important in order to allow the vocal mechanism to work in its most optimum way. So if you just want to take your head and bring it down to your chest, very lightly resting your chin on your neck. And then we're going to take our head on a circular journey, letting your the weight of your head guide the entire process, and not putting too much pressure or force into any of this. It's really about observing the cracks and the stretches as you're going around, but without forcing anything. And you can take it back the other way. Let the weight of the head guide everything. Really let it take you round. Oof, I've got some cracks going on today. And once you come back round to the front, if you want to, you can take your hands and put them together like this, and just put a tiny bit of pressure on your head to get a little extra stretch in your neck that may well go down into your back a little bit, which is absolutely fine. It's all connected. Once you've done that, give that a little shake, drop your shoulders, and then I'd like you to turn your attention to the two long muscles on either side of your neck, which often get really, really involved in our singing, especially when we're doing things incorrectly. So if you just take your head and drop it to one side, and then from your chin, just go straight up to the ceiling. And enjoy that fantastic stretch that you get all the way down the side of your neck here, how long that muscle is. Just hold it there for a moment, just allowing that stretch to ease in and breathe into it. And then shake it out and repeat on the other side. Drop your head, point the chin up to the ceiling, and enjoy that fantastic stretch. And shake that out. Hopefully your head now feels really free and relaxed, and almost like it's floating like a nodding dog in the back of a car. And hopefully now you'll be able to go into your vocal practice feeling just that little bit freer and more relaxed. The next thing I'd like to talk to you about is jaw tension. It's very easy for our jaw to get too involved in our singing, especially when it is taking on any tensions that avoid the body getting completely connected to the voice itself. And it's also possible to overstretch our jaw downwards like this. And while that might feel good in some ways, the action of dropping the jaw that much is actually getting in the way of the vocal mechanism being able to work properly and allowing the larynx to turn in the way it needs to as you ascend in range. So this is a very simple exercise that I like to check in with sometimes to make sure that my jaw is not overextending, but also isn't completely tense and staying shut in a way that's also counterproductive. In a sense, it's a trick of the mind. If you take your fingers and make two hooks like this and put them on the side of your face around the point where the jaw mechanism opens. And as you sing an ascending scale, I'd like you to just turn your fingers as if you are turning a cog or a screw. And it just reminds your jaw to drop open, but in a really passive way that isn't putting any external pressures on the voice. And you can do that action with each note of the scale. So I'll demonstrate first and then you can join in. Here we are on an R. Ah, 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 ah. My jaw is really out of the way and I can wiggle it and feel that it is not getting involved in any active way. Try that with me now if you'd like. Putting our fingers like that as if they're about to turn a cog, and we'll start our scale on an R. Ah, here we go. Ah, 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 ah. Hopefully the sound is feeling really free, your larynx is feeling nice and low, and your jaw certainly doesn't feel like it's getting involved. The next thing I'd like to talk about is tongue tension. It's very easy for the tongue to get far too involved and to start pulling back and pressing on our vocal mechanism, on our larynx, in order to help our ear believe that we're making a better sound. It can be very seductive because it allows us to really hear the warmth of our voice. I'm literally jamming my tongue down onto my larynx. And while that sounds great in my ear, it's not going to carry in a theatre. And ultimately, it's going to lead to vocal fatigue really quickly. And here are a couple of exercises which I like to check in with when I know that my tongue is getting too involved, getting too far down the back of my throat, and helps me to keep the tongue light and bouncing and out of the way of the voice. So this first exercise may well be familiar to many of you. It involves using a pencil, and you want to put that pencil at the base of your bottom lip and then use your tongue to hold that pencil in position. Now, while you're doing that, already you might well feel a really, really good stretch all the way through your tongue, especially at the back, because it's not used to coming out this far. And then the trick is to sing a scale, an ascending scale, probably an octave or more, whatever you'd like, or use a passage from an aria that you're working on, and keep that pencil in position. It may well be that your tongue starts to pull back as you ascend that scale or during higher parts of your phrase, but the challenge is to keep the tongue in place and to keep that pencil from being dropped. See how we get on. Let's try this together on an R. R. Pop your pencil in place. R. 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 I only got halfway up that time because my tongue really wanted to pull back. Let's go again. Ah, 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 ah. I don't know if you saw my tongue, but it kept wanting to pull back as we were going up the scale, and I was getting a really, really good stretch during that exercise. Hopefully, after you have performed an exercise like that for a period of time, you'll find that phrases become easier and that you're certainly finding it easier to get up into the higher register. So the other exercise that I'd like to show you, which involves the tongue, is one which really encourages the tongue to stay in a light floating place in your mouth that is nice and high, so that it is keeping out of the way of your vocal mechanism and allowing as much space as possible in in your throat so that the sound can be generated in a healthy way. So this involves using 5 vowels that will be familiar to you from the homework that you were set during your last lesson. They are E, E, R, O, and U. And what I'd like to do to start with is ask you to just say the vowel E. E. And notice where your tongue is in your mouth. E. Don't know if you can see, but my tongue, E, is nicely between my back molars, and that means that it is sitting nice and high in my mouth. E. Now, the challenge in this exercise is to encourage the tongue to stay largely in that position whilst saying or singing the other vowels, and that can be quite a strange experience if it's new to you. Let's try that all together. E, E, A, O, U. E, E, A, O, U. Especially as we get towards A and O and U, the tongue can really want to change its position, but see if you can encourage it to just be in that same spot. E, E, A, O, U. Then, of course, we can take it into a vocalization. We're going to sing an ascending and descending scale on 5 notes. E, E, A, O, U, O, A, E. Try that with me. E, E, A, O, U, O, A, E. My tongue is really out of the way, and the resonance is being felt very much in my face, but without me having to put it there, which is really, really crucial. Over time, you may find that your tongue very happily just realigns into that position all of the time, but if it doesn't, it's a really useful exercise to come back to, and certainly in your warming up, to encourage the tongue to remember what it's like to not be stuck in the back of your throat. So that's it for this week. My homework to you is to simply try some of these exercises during your daily practice. Get on the floor for 10 minutes before you start singing at the beginning of the day, or during a rehearsal break, or over lunch, or even during a performance if you're able to perform at the moment. And of course, take some of those other exercises that we've explored today into just your daily singing, be it during practicing an aria or during a rehearsal. And that some of them may work for you more than others, and it's completely fine if they don't all work. Keep the ones that do, discard the ones that don't. We're all different. And I hope that they might just encourage your vocal mechanism and your body to be able to keep your glass clean. Thank you so much to ETO for preparing this series and for asking me to be part of it. And I hope that we will all see each other either from on a stage or from an audience in the not too distant future. Bye-bye for now.